The NFL is just a few short weeks away, and Run Pure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
I've always said that, JT. You know, the whole bald thing is way underrated, is what I will say. And I'm not talking about your head. Anyways, here with Sweet Peach, DC, I'm Holden, and Simon behind the scenes. We have a wonderful show set up for you today. It is our finale for these Sunday baseball shows in the morning. Maybe somebody's going to be doing something somewhere, but not us, because this is about to turn into football season, which I am very excited about. We still will do the weekday shows, though. We're still going to have the playbook. We're still going to have your cores for you. You'll still have the Discord, so you can talk to Sweet Peach and DC over here. You shouldn't open your mouth, Sweet Peach. DC, good morning. We haven't talked much this morning. Just glistening. You look wonderful today. What happened? Did you go to a Turkish bathhouse? Your pores just look amazing.
I mean, how could I not be looking wonderful? I get to spend Sunday morning holding with you, with JT. Life is good. Like you said, our last Sunday morning baseball show of the year. Still plenty of baseball to be played. We still got a whole month to go in the regular season and, of course, the playoffs. So members and, we'll have the free shows, of course, all the way through. But, yeah, football opening Sunday, 1 week away. Hard to believe that it's back. We're all excited, of course. And, yeah, excited to talk baseball. You know, we're gonna put off football for a few more days. Break down the baseball, pick some winners, and get it done.
It's going to be amazing. Mr. Hayes, JT Hayes, Sweet Peach. What if I just call you JT today?
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, that'd be nice. I've only been asking all fucking season, but
let me try.
It's fine if you wanna call me, you want to make up the monikers. That's fine. We like them, and it's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's been a fun season spending time with both of you. DC more so you than Holden, but and Simon a lot. Simon, you're just fantastic behind the scenes. So one more slate, and as luck would have it, this is perhaps the ugliest, shittiest slate that we've had to break down all season long. So let's get to it.
We could still make money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Big weekend for me. FanDuel gave me $1 for free, and I have now made $8.17. Yeah. Imagine if they gave me $100, where that would be today. It's just amazing.
$1,000, and you could go get some clear and cream. I mean,
that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to do some steroids. That'll be good for you. And then the other thing would be, it's still time to get in for our NFL package. I mean, come on, let's go. NFL 15% off the lifetime of your subscription. What we do for baseball is what we do for football, except we got so many people giving you cores here. Again, you get the playbook, you get everybody in Discord, you get Big T's whole player pool. I'm not even kidding. Like, every player he's playing, it's not going to give you the whole lineup, but give you the core. So you got most of the lineup, but he gives you a whole player pool. JSU is going to do that. We got shows. I'm excited to bring back the Friday news dump, where right when the inactives come out, We talk about the impact of those players. Tambo is going to do it, and a special guest this year. We totally improved the show this year. It's about to get to another level. Anyways, NFL 15, hit the like button. And one more thing about Simon, who we absolutely have grown to know and love here. But God, I can't wait till best ball drafting season's over. That doesn't happen during the season, does it, guys? Like, doesn't best ball just stop after the first couple of weeks? Or are we going to have to hear about this for months? DC, do you know about this? JT?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's over for the most part, but definitely some of the sites will run like mid-season best ball, or I mean, it's a big business right now. You're not into the best ball streets, Holden. I take it.
No, and he's telling me that it's back for the playoffs. So thank freaking God we don't have to hear about this for 5 months, and then we'll be back. We'll be back to best ball for the playoffs. But in all seriousness, Pumacom, we love you, man, and we know you're into football as much as I am. So that's spectacular. Let's go. JT, you said there's a shitty slate. We could still make money on a shitty slate, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been looking at the way that I think we can make money. And there's two reasons why it's kind of shitty. One is you've got weather in a lot of places, weather where you would ordinarily use a starting pitcher. The Marlins haven't been hitting left-handed pitching at all. You've got Max Fried against them, but you've got some pop-up storms all over the Atlanta area, which, as you can probably tell, I'm not there. I'm in South Carolina, so I can't give you a boots on the ground report. And then we got some pricing issues, some pitchers that are priced up. Nick Lodolo looked like a good option on this slate. Now that game has been moved off of this slate. I'm still not sure what's going on with the Seattle-Cleveland game. It looks like there's some weather there. So it's just, and Sunday, right? Sundays we've seen. We talk about this every week, the second half of the season, where you get different lineups, which gives you a little bit more value, but you also get guys that maybe similar to what you've heard about on all the social media platforms, this quiet quitting. Guys like to quietly play on Sunday. They don't like to do a lot. So makes it a little bit difficult, but there's some really good hitting opportunities here, some good spots. And yeah, definitely one of the things I'm looking at now is, is it possible to pay down a little bit at both pitcher spots? Maybe even leave some salary on the table today, because that's kind of the way the slate feels to me.
Two things in the chat that I see right now. Well, three things. First of all, good morning, Uncle T. I think we'll be bringing back the old guys pod next week, as a matter of fact, to get you ready for week one. So I'm looking forward to that. That's one of is that a free podcast, JT? Is our podcast a free podcast? It's free. So you don't even have to sign up for that. And is G Rising coming back? Do we have any idea for that? Yeah, now you're frozen. DC, yeah, I'll come to you.
The answer to Uncle T might know better than I.
Okay. You need to reconnect your computer because it's horseshit. And then DC, my friend, somebody said you hit the workbench and you're fresh from the workbench. Is this true?
Always hitting the workbench. Absolutely. Saturday night. Who misses out on a Saturday night workbench session?
What was her name?
Certainly none of the wonderful people here at RPS. I can't remember her name. I don't know.
Yeah, there's 0% chance DC hit the workbench. He was hitting the MMA streets and the baseball streets last night, I'm sure. JT, you want to give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now? No. I mean, you're using 1997 dial-up, pal. Anyways, let's get DC. Well, I know you can hear me. It's just So we do this is the other thing. If you're new to RPS, it's a complete shit show. It's my fault, and we could just move on. We try and have fun with that. Weather. JT was talking about the weather. DC, where are we as far as the weather goes? Because hold on, timeout. I needed to get to number 3 in the chat. Dallas Keuchel just got picked up by the Rockies. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, best news I've heard today. When does he start for the Rockies? Hopefully it's in Coors.
I assume this is a lie because I
think
tweeted.
He got released.
Well, I know, but I tweeted like literally an hour ago that he would be a good fit for the Rockies. So I assume it's someone.
So K. Felix Burner was lying.
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking bastard.
That would have been quite a coincidence, though.
Nah, I hate him. Yes, DC. What are we doing with weather today?
So I think these games are all going to play. The red situation is a weird one. I guess just completely off the slate. So you see like Lodolo and Marquez, they're in red, like they were on the slate and then they moved it back an hour. Is that right? Or forward an hour, I guess, JT? Not really sure. So that game's off the slate. So that's the first thing to know. Pittsburgh, I think, yeah, they're not on the slate either. So it's really the Braves, I think, that we're most concerned about. Like JT said, pop-up showers. There's no real way to tell, what are we, couple hours, 2.5 hours before the start of the game, but I think it'll be fine. That's typically how it goes in Atlanta. You'll see rainouts there in the spring and early summer. You get to this time of year, pretty rare to get a postponement in Atlanta. So I'm proceeding as if that game will play, and that's an important one because I do think the best starting pitching option on the slate, Max Fried, is in that game. Slight bit of concern, as JT mentioned, in Cleveland and Detroit. But I do think those games are going to play. It looks like really light rain in general, especially. Did Detroit, I think, will be fine in Cleveland. I think they will get some rain, but I don't really anticipate it. I think they'll just play through it, honestly. So it's one of those situations where if it does start in a rain delay, maybe you move off your guys. But I think all these games are going to go. I really do. So that's how I'm kind of proceeding as of now.
So, JT, let's get into this pitching slate here. How many pitchers are you throwing in your pool, given this interesting slate at that position, at any position? I mean, you look at your face, you're just like, unless he's frozen. No, I don't think he is. Well, how many pitchers in the pool, pal?
Yeah, I think 4 today. I think it might be 3 or 4. The thing about Fried is, this is a guy that, given the matchup with the Marlins, if you get a storm in the 3rd inning that goes for an hour, right? Think about this. His price is 10.5. So it's really, we're going to need to look at that weather closly. I'm not concerned about a postponement. I'm more so concerned about you get a lengthy delay. He either doesn't come back or his game is cut short by an inning or 2. So that kind of, it doesn't take him out of play right now, but he's on the edge here at that price point, given those considerations. Then you go from there and it gets tough because the one guy that I like just hasn't pitched really well, and the Rays have been pretty hot, but I do like Montes at 8.4K a little bit, given the environment there. I think he's good. And then, it just gets a little tough. I mean, can we play Matt Manning at 7.3? He'd shown flashes of upside. I don't know about that. Giolito, we saw that, the Twins offense doesn't come to life very often. Decent price point there. You've got the pitchers in Cleveland, and I'm not paying 10K for Kirby, knowing that he's on a limit of some sort, and the fact that the Guardians really don't strike out all that much. 9.6 for Quantrill, no thank you. I mean, Miles Mikolas, I don't know. The Cubs really haven't been striking out all that much either. So it becomes fairly tough, and you're looking. So that's kind of the state of pitching. I'm going to have to narrow down. I've got a core up on the site today, so that'll probably be, once I get to those 2 guys, I'll probably go very heavy on my main 2 guys and sprinkle in like 1 or 2 others.
Brock Erickson, Manning plus Bundy with bats equals print. Yeah, it's really easy today. Just do that and you're going to cash. Well, what happens if it does, though? We might have to give him a job next year if we remember. Yeah. DC, how many pitchers are in your pool today, man? Is it really, really tight like JT?
Yeah, it's going to be a tight pool today, almost out of necessity. Like, obviously, I do prefer to have a tight pitching pool, but I prefer to have it because I feel super confident about 2 guys, preferably lower owned, preferably cheaper guys. Not really the case today. I mean, even like Max Fried, like I said, I do think he's the number 1 option. Some slight weather concern there, but to me, he's kind of far enough above that, you just kind of take the risk and hope for the best with the weather, assuming it doesn't get worse between now and the start of that game. But he is 10.5K. He's not the highest strikeout guy in the world. So you are paying a really high price tag for a pitcher who doesn't have a huge amount of upside. You throw in a little bit of weather risk, and I get why, JT sounds like he might want to avoid that situation. George Kirby against the contact-heavy Cleveland team on the road, it's just a no thanks. Same thing. I don't know what Cal Quantrill did to get a 9.6K price tag, but that's an easy avoid. I would have played Lodolo if he was on the slate, but unfortunately not an option. Carrasco back from injury, no thanks. So you start going through these guys and, I'm crossing off more guys than I'm thinking, I could go here. But a few good options, I think. Miles Mikolas, we'll start with him. The big thing with him is his home road splits are truly massive. If you look at his last 10 games, I'll just read his DraftKings scores when he's pitched at home. 27.6 against Milwaukee, 15 against the Cubs, who he faces today, 24 against Cincinnati, 25 against Philadelphia, 26 against the Cubs, 34 against Pittsburgh, 21 against Baltimore. Like, if you just go on and on, whenever he pitches at home, he pitches well. He gets a Cubs team that is a matchup to target. Tiny bit of weather in St. Louis. Again, we'll have to keep an eye on that, but I do think it'll play. So, almost unfortunately, because Miles Mikolas is not really a DFS friendly pitcher. He doesn't get many strikeouts, but he does go deep into games and he is at home here. So he does have some things going for him. He's definitely on my list. Frankie Montas, JT, I mean, this was last year, or even if he was like still on the A's somehow, I think we'd be interested in him in Tampa Bay. But he's another guy that, like, he's always pitched way better in Oakland, been traded to the Yankees, was dealing with some personal stuff, and just hasn't pitched all that well for them. I don't think in like any starts. So he has any good starts in a Yankees uniform. I'm not sure that he has, but pitching environment is good in Tampa Bay. Matchup is good. So Frankie Montas, at least on this slate, I think has to be in play almost by default. And then you're looking at matchup plays mostly, right? That's kind of the name of this slate. I mean, that's the name of the game with Mikolas. It's the name of the game with Montas. These aren't pitchers that we're particularly interested in paying these prices for, but you got to roster two guys. And so you got to attack the matchup. So Matt Manning, I think, is interesting. Got crushed his last start, but gets a much easier matchup here at home against the Royals. So I'm looking at him. Spencer Watkins, again, not a fun DFS play, but he gets the Oakland A's. He's at home. So I think he's a reasonable play. And then not quite all the way down at the bottom, but almost there, Max Castillo for the Royals, who has actually pitched pretty well in his not very many big league innings. Minor league numbers looks okay. Been throwing 85, 80 pitches his last two starts in the minor leagues. And he gets the Tigers matchup. I know they've been hitting a little bit better recently, but that's still, for me at least, a team that I really want to attack. So, yeah, I guess to run it down, run it back. I mean, Fried, Mikolas, Montas, Manning, Watkins, and Max Castillo are the five guys that I'm looking at. Like I said, though, I don't feel super great about any of those guys. And, if someone, JT, it wouldn't take a lot to get, talk me onto another pitcher, but I just don't know who that's going to be.
I'd jump in real quick. Lodolo's on FanDuel.
Okay, you can play him over there.
Lodolo,
yep.
You roll with them? Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
JT, you're shaking
9.7 on FanDuel. Yeah, I'm definitely willing to play him over there.
Okay. Yeah, JT, you shook your head. I mean, you shook your head, nodded.
Yeah, I mean, Lodolo, points per dollar looks like the best option. That's why I said when he gets removed from the slate, it makes it a lot more difficult considering the weather factors in Atlanta and even Fried's price. Look, I mean, I love Max Fried. That price point is generally a price point where he's going to have a hard time paying that off, right? DC mentioned low strikeouts. I mean, the matchup's phenomenal. It is Sunday in Atlanta. Teams like to go out and party the night before. We've seen that. The Watkins I looked at Watkins and I was like, that 6.8 price point, I don't love it. I think I would.
All right, JT.
Honestly,
JT, buddy, you're breaking up, pal.
Castillo to him, and that's when we opened the show, and I said, sorry about that.
It's okay, buddy. Call back. Do a little reconnection. I'm serious. Yeah, we can't hear you, buddy. Okay. DC, we'll start with you then with the offenses, and we'll get back to JT Hayes in just a minute. Man, we can't do this. You can't do this show without JT. Come on, man. And Uncle T, where are you, buddy? I invited you on the show. You're just not going to come on. It's our final baseball show. You're a key cog in the baseball wheel. Come on, man. So, DC, where are we starting offensively today? I guess we're going to start with the first game, right? Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
It's Miami, Atlanta. We kind of discussed this. Is that just a full fade?
I'm definitely fading the Marlins side of it again. Marlins side of it against Max Fried. I don't play really any Marlins in general. Not going to go up against the best pitcher on the slate. Just seems like a unnecessarily, hard route to the top there with the Marlins bats. Braves bats are interesting. I am more interested, especially on a Sunday where, yes, like some of these teams, I think it happens all season in baseball. It's just such a long season. These players are human. They probably like to go out on Saturday nights like we all do. But I think the teams that are in the pennant races, right, that are trying, like the Braves are obviously kind of locked horns with the Mets. So I do like to target, especially on a Sunday, these teams that are probably more focused, right, that need to come out and win games. So Pablo Lopez is a good pitcher, but he has, he had some rough starts recently. He did face the Braves 4 starts ago, gave up 200 runs in 5 2/3. So yeah, I think the Braves are in play, but if I go there, it would be the full stack scenario, right, where I'm just kind of running it up, hoping that Pablo doesn't have his good stuff, and the Braves obviously can do a ton of damage if they're on their game. So yeah, I wouldn't go to the Braves necessarily for one-offs, but I don't mind a low-owned, what I think will be contrarian stack against Lopez. Braves are familiar with him, and they've got, one of, if not the best lineups in baseball. So yeah, I think the Braves are certainly in play as a full stack here.
All right, very good. JT, Miami, Atlanta. You any thoughts here?
Yeah, really the same thoughts as DC in terms of if you're going to Atlanta, you want to full stack it, take advantage of all the power in the lineup. It's not going to be my top stack on this slate, but they are locked in a battle with the Mets, who, by the way, lost another Scherzer start yesterday and
Scherzer
game because of an oblique. So that's right. So sorry, K. Philippe Burner, it's looking ugly.
It's not good. And this is what I said when they signed Scherzer. Like, he finally looked like he was breaking down that last year when he went to the Dodgers. Was that a couple of years ago? Right? Last year. And I'm going, oh boy, this guy. But as long as he's healthy for the playoffs, seriously, that's when you need Max Scherzer at this point. If he's healthy for the playoffs, it's worth it. If he's not, they're fucked. Yeah.
I mean, that's a big question mark with Scherzer. He's had so many. He always comes back and pitches well, but he's had a lot of little injuries, right? And oblique that's a tough one for a pitcher. You obviously need that torque to throw. You're throwing baseball basically as hard as you can, max effort, 100 times a game, especially a guy like Max Scherzer. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know the severity of that, but certainly a big blow to the Mets, which is great because me and JT are Braves fans. So we're hoping they can pull that division out.
Why are you Braves fans? Just because they're good?
Yeah, man, they're just a fun team to root for.
Okay, good talk. Good stuff. Good times. We will continue with our second game here. JT, I'm going to go right to you. Oakland, Baltimore. Thank you, Orioles last night and Ryan Mountcastle. But do we want to go back to the O's today? Any reason?
Oh, yeah.
I
mean, Adrian Martinez is one of the worst pitchers in baseball. Can't believe that he's on a roster because of what the A's are doing. So, and I don't mind the O's at all here. I don't really have a lot of interest in these athletics, although I think you can go to some of these guys as one-offs. I mean, Tony Kemp at the top at 2.7. I'm not going to play Stephen Vogt. Maybe he hits a home run, maybe he doesn't, but he rarely does. Seth Brown has slumped a little bit. So I think if you needed a cheap punt from Oakland, you could do it. But remember, I don't think we're going to need all that many punts today before leaving any salary on the table.
All right. DC, what do we want to do with the O's?
Yeah, I'm with JT on Oakland. No A's for me, I don't think, on this slate, but I do like the Orioles. I think you can make a good case for the Orioles being the top overall stack on this slate. Adrian Martinez giving up a ton of home runs to both lefties and righties. He's actually given up more home runs to right-handed hitters than he has lefties on the year. And it's really, really good hitting weather in Baltimore. Obviously, it's not quite the same park that it used to be to hit in, but 90 degrees, humid, wind blowing out to left center field. Ball's going to be fine in Baltimore. Adrian Martinez, like I said, gives up a ton of home runs. He misses a few bats, but a ton of home runs given up, which is obviously a big part of what we're after for DFS. And yeah, I'm looking at that Orioles lineup. I really think you can play all 9 of those guys. I don't think maybe I'd go down to the catcher, Robinson Chirinos, but the other 8 all look like good plays. They've got their star prospect up, Gunnar Henderson, hitting 5th for 2K at second base. He looks like a great option. Yeah, Mullins, Rushman, Santander, Mountcastle, guys, all these guys look like awesome plays for the Orioles. So it is one of those teams that you can stack up multiple different ways. I think you can go to if you want to get weird, you can leave off the top 3, play a 4 through 8 stack. I think that's absolutely viable on the slate. Helps you get a little bit different on one of the better stacks. I think the second or third highest team total on the slate. So very high on the Orioles today, expecting some long balls off of Adrian Martinez. And we know, of course, Oakland doesn't have much in the bullpen behind him either. So it looks like a great spot for the Orioles to me.
Beautiful. Love it again. Go O's. Hope you make the playoffs, boys. Time to tell everybody about how awesome RPS is. And it's time for you to get in on the NFL before it starts. And there's no better time than right now. I know Hoop has an itchy trigger finger, so you probably got this week, but he'll likely pull that. He's just ruthless, man. Don't mess with Hoop. You do want to mess with Hoop when you sign up for NFL here at RPS, though. The guy is just remarkable. Him and Mangone doing the cash chart. If you're a cash player, we got 2 of the best in the world here. Obviously, Big T, JSU, AP, the rest of the like. If I'm leaving any coordinators out, I apologize, but our big boys. And then we just added Crane, didn't we? Crane's coming over now. From what I understand, he also has a filthy mouth. So I'm looking forward to working with him on the Friday news dump. And on Tuesday, I'm looking at the calendar right now. I don't know how accurate it is, but I'm pretty sure it's slightly accurate. Tuesday, our first show. Yeah. 11 in the morning, Eastern time. Cash, first look, title man going Hoop. Who's better at cash than those 3? Nobody. Tournament first look on Wednesday. And then picking winners is back this year. We've got spread from the bet side. He is murdering tennis right now, by the way. US Open. I'm just tailing the dude. Blind tailing. I don't do that, but I'm doing that with him. Mangone, holding spread. That's what we're doing on Wednesday. I'm just giving you the calendar here. JT, you're going to need to know the calendar too. We're doing tons of Showdown content this year. Tons of Showdown content because we have the best Showdown player in the world in Big T. I cannot tell you because I knew shit about Showdown when I joined here. And now I know a lot about it. And I know that he's the best out there. So we've got that on Thursday. We'll still have Saber Sim stuff. We got Thursday night Showdown stuff. So we got a preview and the Print Factory show. The cash show with me, Hoop, and Mangone is on Friday. The Print Factory is on Friday at 2:00 Eastern. Then the news dump. And all the while, we are still doing baseball and MMA and all the other stuff. The Mlb Roundtable. That is with you, DC, coming up on Saturday night. And then our big shows on Sunday. Our lineup is this: Off the Chalk, Tambo, JT, AP. Then it's the Morning Wood. I don't know if I'm doing the Morning Wood. You know what? Crane, you do the Morning Wood. I'm going to take the morning off. Crane, you do the Morning Wood. Unless they throw me on the schedule, then I'll do the Morning Wood. And then me, Dunkel from the bet side, and JSU. There's no better up to lock show in the business. We've been killing it for years. You get last minute news. You get last minute advice. You get the questions. We'll take all of your questions on that show. We just get inundated with them. We'll answer all your questions. NFL is here, folks. Sign up. NFL 15% off the lifetime of your subscription. Let's move on.
You do a bet show for NFL too, Holden? I don't.
Coming up next after this show, I'm going to be doing a bet show. Right.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure Dunkel is on the show because why? I'll tell you why. Because the guy knows how to bet. So he's going to be on that show too. We got a lot of betting content. If you're already a subscriber, type in get bets in the code, you'll get the bet side for free. So that's just another perk of coming over here. Fuck you, Drew. All right, let's move on to our next game. And that would be Texas at Boston. DC, do we want to mess with Texas at Boston?
Yeah, I think you got to like this game. Dane Dunning and Josh Winkowski gonna do a battle, if you want to call it that. I'm actually surprised that the total, honestly, for both these teams, but especially the Texas side, isn't higher than it is, sitting around 4.6 for that Rangers team total. They've got, pretty much the best lineup that they could throw out there. That top 5 looks really good for me. Winkowski, I don't know if I'd call him the worst pitcher on the slate, but he's certainly in the running for that title. Has been hit hard all year long. Big park upgrade for the Rangers here, moving from that Costco of a stadium that they play in Arlington to Fenway Park, where it's hot, humid, which is obviously a great place to hit. I think the best overall hitting environment on this slate is in this game. And you have one of the worst pitchers on the slate in Josh Winkowski. So yeah, the Rangers right up there with the Orioles in terms of my top stacks on the day. This is another team where, listen, I do prefer the top of this lineup, but you can absolutely play guys like Leody Taveras, Cole Calhoun, Duran, Bubba Thompson, all super cheap. So if you need those savings, And we're not sure you do, right? But if you are paying for Fried, maybe you're playing a Fried and Michaelis combination, so you do need a little bit of savings. I don't mind the bottom of this Texas lineup. And yeah, kind of the same thing for the Red Sox. I haven't seen their lineup yet. I'm not sure if it's out. I don't think so. So we'll see what they run out there. A little bit gun shy on the Red Sox right now, just as a team that's kind of playing out the string a little bit, right? So that's not necessarily the teams that I want to target on a Sunday afternoon at this time of year. But nevertheless, like we said, great hitting environment. Dane Dunning, not a pitcher that you need to avoid whatsoever. So the Red Sox do have the higher team total in this game. I do prefer the Texas side of it, though, a little bit. I think Dunning's a better pitcher than Winkowski, and I kind of like the Texas lineup just better in general at the moment than I do the Red Sox. We'll see what the Red Sox roll out there, but very, very high on the Texas side, especially. But you can certainly go to the Red Sox side and a full-on game stack here if you want to. I could see a lot of runs in Fenway today.
All right, what are we doing with Fenway today, JT?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that,
here.
JT.
I really like the Texas side of this game. I'll move.
Okay, thanks for moving, pal. Thanks for moving for us. I'll remember to come back around and say the Boston thing, okay? I'll ask you about Texas and Boston. We'll come back around. Should have done it during the promo, but that's fine. Okay, DC, talk to me here. We'll move on to our next game, and we're going to come and circle back. Yankees and Tampa Bay. We're going to have salary, aren't we? Why aren't we just rolling with Judge, who just blasted number 52?
Yeah, hard to argue with Aaron Judge hitting leadoff today, by the way. They're just like, this is the only guy on our team that can hit. Let's move him up to first to get him as many at-bats as possible. Makes sense to me. Looks like Tampa's going to use an opener, I think, which makes sense. And then Yarbrough is going to follow. But yeah, Judge looks like an awesome play. You can certainly fit him in there if you want. You're going to have to pay for him $6.5K, a huge price tag, but he's worth every penny of that, even in Tampa. So yeah, I'm in on Judge. I don't know if I'd necessarily want to go to a full Yankees stack. You see them really low total, well below 4 runs, despite a decent matchup against the Rays. But the Rays are going to mix and match with their bullpen, get all the good matchups in there that they can. So that's a little bit concerning. So I'm not on the full Yankee stack. Can certainly use Judge as a one-off. They do have one of their better prospects, a couple of them as well, Oswaldo Cabrera and Oswald Peraza in there. So you can look to those guys for salary savings. Cabrera actually hitting third today. He's interesting as well. The Rays side of it, we talked about Montas hasn't been quite the same pitcher since being traded from Oakland to New York, but I still don't see much on the Rays that I really want to target. There's just better hitting environments out there. We just talked about Baltimore and Boston both have tremendous hitting environments today. This isn't one of those. Enough games on the slate, enough good offenses that this game will mostly be an avoid for me outside of, a couple of those Yankees one-offs. I don't think I'll end up on any of the Rays bats, though.
Judge's going to be popular, though, right? I mean, I don't care, but he's going to.
I don't think he'd be popular. I think you'll get him. He always has ownership because he's Aaron Judge, and he's going to, what's he going to hit? 60 plus. He's going to, what do you think, Holden? Do you think the record is Barry Bonds, the 70 stands?
Yeah. But let me say this. I think the more, and I'm not even kidding here, I think the more impressive feat is that Judge is going to end up playing 150 something games. Like he didn't get hurt all season long, and that's allowing him to get to the 60 plus home runs. But yeah, there are a lot of people out there that say it's Maris and that the Yankees record, and that in its own right's a pretty damn impressive record. So I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, I think he's going to get. He's not going to get the 70, but I think he's going to get that Yankees record of 61. I hope he does. He's had a tremendous season. Bet on himself. Free agent after this year. It'll be interesting. Yankees fans are going to riot if he goes somewhere else. They had a chance to sign him, didn't offer him quite enough money, and he's going to get paid for sure. Certainly deserves it. An incredible season, and like I said, you will get him lower owned than you usually do today, just because of the low Yankees team total on this slate.
It's where all the magic happens, DC. Do you see behind JT's head right now? It's where all the magic happened last night. Sweet Peach turned into a delight.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I've been wondering about JT's workbench. So now
must have been a lot of action in that bed. Yeah. It's a small one, JT, but sure it does the job, right?
It's a king size bed, Holden. I don't know what's small about it.
Is it really? It looks like a queen. Okay, good.
I wouldn't have guessed king either. I think JT's lying to us.
It does look like a queen or even a twin. Chat, help us out. What size bed is that for Sweet Peach today? So we're getting back to Boston, Texas, and then the Yankees and Aaron Judge. So start with Texas and Boston, would you please?
Yeah, favor the Texas side here. Winkowski with a strikeout rate to left-handed batters under 5% over his last 30 days. So like that a bit. I think you could go to guys like Verdugo on the Red Sox side in particular. They did put out a lineup. Tristan Casas, who DC I'm sure knows, one of their top prospects, is up in the 6 hole for stone minimum on DK. And then moving on, Yankees, Rays, not a ton of interest here. You can absolutely play Aaron Judge as a one-off, but Yankees offensively outside of him have just been really, really cold lately. And the Rays, this looks like it's going to be one of their more frequent bullpen games than any other team, especially now that McClanahan is going to be on the shelf for a couple of weeks.
All right. And then the next one was Aaron Judge. You think he's breaking the record?
Yeah, I mean, unless, and teams, it's interesting because teams haven't done this outside of a handful. If they stop pitching to him like they did with Bonds, that would be the thing. But, and I don't know why teams don't do it, because you look at this Yankees lineup, there's no reason to pitch to him because you don't really need to pitch to him. You just pitch to everybody else. They're not hitting the ball.
Anything else from the game? And by the way, as long as there's shitty teams on the schedule, they're going to pitch to him. You know, the teams that are out of it, they'll take it as a challenge. The teams that are in it aren't going to pitch to him.
Yeah.
So I feel.
So then that's kind of, I think he did hit a home run yesterday. They might have, I think it was late in that game yesterday.
Yeah.
Rays definitely still in it. Rays have to be very cautious because they've got the Orioles right on their tails, and the Orioles shown no signs of slowing down. So interesting there. I don't think he gets a lot to hit, but what he's done is when he's just hitting whatever he gets to hit out of the park. It's been pretty amazing to watch.
JT, there's a lot of question. Most are saying it's a queen. Could you please go lay down on the bed sideways? I'm not kidding. Can you please do that? I really need to know if it's a queen or a king.
Don't do that, JT. Don't
do it, JT. Come on, prove to us. If you don't, we all know it's a queen. I want you to prove to us it's a king.
It's not a queen. I mean,
it's a double. Guys in the chat. Come on. Does anybody really think that's a king? No.
I believe JT. He wouldn't lie to us about the size of his bed.
Absolutely, he would. Absolutely, he would. It's the only thing he'd lie about.
It's hurtful.
Yeah, queen. Yeah.
Well, listen. Look at. First of all, we're listening to a group of people, many of whom can't even follow simple instructions. I mean, we're going to take their word for it. I mean, for 3 years, we've been saying when you get in and you start watching the show, hit the like button. They still can't do that. But
they are idiots. That's true.
I don't believe
they are idiots. But hey, idiots.
I love you.
Son. Hold on. Listen. I'm going to set something big. If we get to 300 likes, will you please lay sideways on the bed? 300.
If we get to 350, I'll lay sideways.
Oh, come on. 300. 300.
No.
All right. 350 likes. Hit the damn like button. Not for our algorithm. We don't even care about the algorithm. No. The only reason I want you to hit the like button this morning is to get us to 350. So JT has to lay on his bed and we could expose him for the fraud he is with this queen bed bullshit.
It's definitely a king. You're all going to be very disappointed. Right. I mean, you'll be excited because you'll get to see me get up and lay in.
I don't think we will. I don't know. I don't know how you're not getting to 350. Why are we at 160? We got 20 more likes. And I'm telling you right now, the dude is going to be laying sideways.
Holden, you might,
audience, Bill Miner.
I don't know if it's going to help us as much as you think. You might be the only one that's super excited to see JT.
Well, I know, because you were shaking your head like this. DC doesn't like to have fun. DC is a grown up.
Fun hater.
I just went. I hit the like button for you. I'm helping you get to this point. And you're still so fucking lazy that you're not going to get there.
I had to take away my
one? Which one's angry, me or JT? Nick, which one? I'm in a wonderful mood today now because I really want. We got to get to 350. Simon, can you do something behind the scenes, like change it?
No cheating. No cheating.
All right.
No cheating.
All right. Well, let's get DC back on track here. Hit the freaking like button, please. This is the best reason all season long. We did do Yankees. All right. Washington and the Mets. Cookie's back. I mean, listen, all Lane Thomas and Joey Meneses do is win us money. Is there anything from this game though? DC?
I'm not going to play the Nationals bats. I much prefer this team against left-handed starters. The Mets are another one of those teams, obviously, that's very much in the thick of the hunt. And Carrasco, for the Nationals, to me, are kind of a team actually to play these bats, especially Meneses, my goodness, against lefties. But I'm not going to use them against Carrasco and a pretty good bullpen behind him. So no Nationals for me. I'm also not going to play Carrasco coming off the injured list. He's going to be on somewhat of a pitch count here. So those two, both sides of that, Carrasco and the Nationals, relatively easy fades for me. But the Mets, I think, are going to be one of the most popular teams today for good reason. This is another team that you kind of know is going to roll out their best lineup as they have. We've got that lineup out there. It's pretty much the same as always. We know what the Mets are going to do. And Eric Fetty, absolutely a pitcher to target against, can use both sides of the plate, both sides, handedness, lefties, righties against him, certainly. And yeah, this is a team that does a ton of damage. I really like their top 5 here, but you could certainly go to guys like Canna, Escobar at the bottom of the lineup as well. So yeah, the Mets, I have them third today behind the Orioles and the Rangers. But I do think, they have the highest team total for a reason. Great matchup, horrible bullpen behind Eric Fetty. As we know, Nationals just really don't have many pitchers left. So Mets have to be on your short list, I think.
Oh, Uncle T might be hopping on here. Nick, I still want to know which one of us is the angry one. Is it JT or is it me? I just don't know. I'm in a good mood. JT, please chime in on this game with the Mets and the Nationals.
Yeah, really disappointing for us last night, the Mets outside of Escobar. But it's really mostly the lefties that I like to target Fetty with. You could target both sides. This Mets stack is expensive, but we talked about the fact that we're going to have some room. We're going to have some salary here based on the pitching options. So one note here is Escobar home runs in each of his last 2 games. He's one of the streakier hitter on this Mets team. When he gets rolling, he usually goes pretty good for about a week. So like him here at that price point. The Nats are tempting just because they're pesky. They don't really strike out a lot. And you've got a lot of young players that are playing to be part of this team's plan moving forward. DC mentioned Meneses, Lane Thomas, you mentioned. I don't know that I get to them just because I think some of the options are much stronger. And as DC noted, really, really good bullpen for the Mets.
All right. Very good. Here's the deal. 350 likes. We're not going to get there, but it sure would be nice to try so that we could find out if JT's bed really is a king, which it isn't. As the chat has said, it's 2 twin mattresses put together. So that's the first thing. And by the way, Terry Niehaus, the Uncle Tizaz, there's now 3 of the 4 members of the Old Guys podcast, which is launching probably this Wednesday. It's 3 or 4 old people that just talk about the best plays.
I think DC should be, if we're losing a member, I think DC should be the replacement. That's my vote.
We'll have to vote on it. Again, I think 45.
Well, we vote in secret. We'll vote.
I think 45 years old should be because he's not really old.
He's close. Have you seen him? Have you seen him in person? He's close. He's got an old body.
Balls probably aren't sagging yet. Oh, on that note, Uncle T. Hello, Uncle T. Good to see you, pal.
How's it going, boys? I had to hop in.
It's wonderful to see your smiling face after a whole off season of not seeing it. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Yeah, I had to hop in. Wanted to get on here with DC and JT. JT struggling a little bit with his connection, and just finished the playbook and wanted to hop on for a few minutes with you guys. And more importantly, Holden, I wanted to make sure you are late for the Run Pure Bet show at 12. So good to be on here.
Possibility. Uncle T, can you just chime in real quick? Queen, king, twin, what does he got behind him?
Boy, I don't know. Maybe a queen. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is too. He's such a liar.
I got to say this. We can't get Uncle T on a goddamn baseball show all year long. As soon as we get into JT's workbench room, we start talking about JT laying down on the bed, Uncle T getting all excited and hopping on the show. So I guess we know what we got to do to get Uncle T on the show.
Welcome to the world of broadcasting. Broadcasting.
Simon, I need in.
Yeah, I'm glad he's on. Hey, Uncle T, we've talked about a million different things here, and I know you got the playbook up right now. Can you just give us 2 pitchers and then we'll get to the rest of the slate.
Yeah, like these guys have mentioned, I've been listening while I was finishing up the playbook. Again, it's definitely ugly. I get the Fried, concerns, if you will, with the price tag and everything, but I'm still I still think there's some upside. I mean, his prop, it isn't real big, over 5.5 minus 180 right now on DK. I'm still willing to put Fried as my SP1 and probably going to go down into that mid tier and just use one of those guys, Giolito, Montes, Lopez, one of them guys. But I've got 3 teams today. One of the teams I will go cheaper, like DC mentioned earlier in the show. If you wanted to go down a little bit to a couple of those, lower price guys, even Castillo is viable against Detroit. I'm willing to do that, but I'm still going to go with Fried up top against, again, its projection is still pretty good. So I'll go with those guys up top as far as the pitching, but it's definitely ugly with all those guys going yesterday. I knew it would be an ugly, watered down pitching slate today, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. No question. What are you doing with Aaron Judge today? Lock button?
I mean, I don't know about lock button, but the problem with the Yankees is right now, as these guys know, they just can't score runs. I mean, if it's not a long ball by Aaron Judge right now, they just can't score. So, I just, if you like them, maybe a little 2 or 3 man, but I'm probably going to avoid the Yankees until they can show me some signs of life.
Okay. Listen, it's the last, that's not the last time I'm going to say it, but I have never begged for likes. I beg you to get us to 350. So JT has to lay on that bed. I freaking beg you, please hit the like button. So we get that. Even if you're a subscriber and you're upset, just let's make JT Hayes do that. I want to see if he's wearing pants too. That'll be kind of funny. DC, let's get you back on the slate here, my friend. And we'll go to Kansas City, Detroit. Any Royals, Tigers, bats, or is this just a puke game?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to this one. Not one of the better hitting environments on the slate. I talked about Max Castillo. I'm actually looking at this Tigers lineup, man. I'm willing to play Max Castillo here, take a roll of the dice. Like I said, he's actually pitched pretty well at the big league level. I think his stuff is fine. This lineup is just so bad from the Tigers. So I do kind of like Castillo specifically on this slate. So I'm definitely on the Castillo side of this matchup. The Royals, they just don't have enough upside, I don't think, to get there over some of these other teams. I mean, are we really going to see the Royals be the winning stack when you got teams like Boston, the Rangers, Baltimore, the Mets, the Braves? I have a hard time believing it's going to be the Royals that are going to put up big crooked numbers in this one. So pretty much avoiding the bats altogether. In this one, I actually think the pitchers are more interesting. I do prefer the Max Castillo or Matt Manning, but I see the case for a Matt Manning play on this particular slate. But yeah, no hitters here for me. Going to avoid the offenses in this one.
JT, my sweet peach, where do you want to go with this game? Anything?
Yeah, I'm with DC here. I think that I lean more so on the side of the pitchers. If I was going to go to one of these offenses, some of these Royals are cheap. Nick Pratto was pretty hot earlier in the week. 2.3. Michael Taylor was actually hitting the ball pretty well and stealing bases. But outside of a 2 or 3 man, I don't think that's, I'd do any more, more than
Uncle
that with
T,
Kansas City.
Outside of Haas and Baez, is there really anybody in this game that you would consider?
Yeah, pretty much 3 for 3 for me. I'm in agreement with these guys. Not a whole lot to like here. I'm not necessarily on the pitchers here either. I mean, again, you can go to Castillo and Manning. I may get there with one of them guys on one of my teams, but offensively, I just can't make a case for anybody here. You can always play a one-off Salvi Perez, but for me, it's got a little bit of weather issue as well. So I'm gonna pass.
DC, do we want to mess with the Twins today? Well, this is our last baseball show. Why wouldn't we just full stack the Twins? I mean, come on. It's our last chance collectively to lose money.
Yeah, well, not the last chance. We got a few more baseball games. Well, plenty of chances still to lose money.
Well, not on this show. Like this is the last
yeah.
time on this show we can lose money on the Twins. Would you like to do that with me?
I always love losing money on the Twins. One of my favorite pastimes for the last 5 months or so. And I'm willing to do it again today against Giolito, who is a pitcher that I do like to stack against in general. He's a true kind of hit or miss pitcher, right? Where when he's on his game, I mean, you could even make a case for him, honestly, on this slate, just because of the lack of pitching. I'm not going to use him myself, but I could certainly see he will get some ownership. I think rightfully so. But I'm also willing to use hitters against him. Not the strongest lineup, though, in the world for the Twins. A couple guys that I do like in particular, Nick Gordon, who I've been kind of talking about for the last month or so. I've been impressed with his play. He's been turning it on, second base, outfield, cheap, hitting seventh. DraftKings just refuses to move his price to 2,300. He's a good play. Of course, you've got Jose Miranda, another guy who's had a really tremendous rookie year that you can use for the Twins. But yeah, Twins, my sixth or seventh favorite offense, something like that on the slate. Not the greatest hitting weather in Chicago with some wind blowing in from left field. So Twins, yeah, they're okay, but not super high on my list. You will get them very low owned though against Giolito. So yeah, kind of lukewarm on the Twins. White Sox side, matchup is good against Dylan Bundy. He's obviously a pitcher that we want to target in general, but the Twins pull him kind of at the first sign of trouble. I think their bullpen is relatively rested. If I recall correctly, looking that up, yeah, they should be pretty good to go here. Didn't burn through their bullpen yesterday, so not really on the White Sox either. Kind of a game that I'll mostly be avoiding.
Guys, we're just telling you now, ladies, 225 on the likes. We need 350. JT Hayes strips and lays on the bet. I'm not kidding. JT, you want to chime in on this? The only guy that you like BVP, 5 home runs, 33 at bats for Max Kepler. I just talked myself out of the Twins. So what do you got?
I mean, Kepler, when's the last time that he actually hit a home run?
Exactly.
It's been a little bit. I will say the only thing that stands out to me in this game, bizarrely as it is Elvis Andrus. Elvis Andrus has been hot, hit a grand slam last night. I got to do the playbook for the first time in a while yesterday, and I love doing the playbook because it makes you go through every single position, and it's just a great way of looking at a slate. And Andrus happened to be the top shortstop. I mentioned him as the number one shortstop on the slate. He turned out to be, and I'll play him again. Other than that, agree with DC. This game doesn't look like anything that I really want any big pieces of.
Uncle T, Twins, anything on that side?
Yeah, not much on the Twins. I mean, this lineup without Buxton and Polanco, I mean, we've all been losing money on the Twins the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, but without those two guys in the lineup, I'd much rather make a case for Giolito. And again, Giolito isn't my favorite pitcher by any means, but I'd much more, probably rather go to Giolito here a little bit against these Twins. Again, you got Buxton and Polanco out there. This lineup at the bottom just looks terrible. So I'd much rather probably go over and maybe mini stack the White Sox. I was on them on Friday night. They let me down. Obviously, I didn't go to them last night. They put up 13. So I've been kind of missing them the last couple nights, and they've been disappointing all year long, as we know. But I feel like Abreu is going to start swinging the bat a little bit better. Eloy's hit a couple bombs the last couple weeks or last couple games. And then we got our boy Gavin Sheets there. I don't know if we've seen a lineup yet out for the White Sox, but probably nothing more than a mini stack here for the White Sox for me. Nothing on the Twins side. Okay, very good. Let's move on to our next game. You know what? Before we do that, I got time. I'm going to be late for the bets show anyways. Guys. Yes. I'm going to be late anyways. Yes. So. NFL 15% off the life of your subscription for all sports. And that's the thing about RPS. You don't have to pay a different package for every sport. You get everything all in one. It's beautiful. NFL 15% off. Show's starting on Tuesday this week. Our season starts Tuesday. Old Guys Pod coming up, and we'll drop that Wednesday or Thursday. We'll figure it out. By the way, it's the only show that I will do, and people don't believe this. It's the only show that I will do that I'm not sober for. I am so blasted during that show. It's not even funny. And JT Hayes, sometimes you make fun about it, but I don't give a damn. I need a sedative to hang out with you and Uncle T.
We can confirm that you're almost 100% of the time fully blasted.
Yeah, blazed.
Through the pod, which some people say it makes it unlistenable. Others, they tend to like it. So I mean, it just depends on which way you.
It's pretty much unlistenable, but we do appreciate those who do watch. We've got the Cubs and the Cardinals. Stroman, do we want to attack him today, DC? Because we're not messing with the Cubs.
Nah, Stroman is one of those guys. I never play him. I never roster him, but I almost never really play hitters against him, right? He's a ground ball guy. He doesn't get blown up. All his starts seem like they're like 5, 6, 7 innings, 2, 3, 4 earned runs. So just not a pitcher to play, but not one to necessarily attack either. Cardinals do have an awesome offense, right? Obviously been hitting really well, especially the second half of this year. So if you wanted to go there, okay, but it would probably be a full stack situation. And again, you're just kind of hoping Stroman doesn't have it today if you're going there. A little bit similar maybe to the Braves idea, right? Really good offense, not necessarily the best matchup. If you want to go there and just hope the pitcher doesn't have it, I understand, but I would probably do it as a full stack situation. Lars Nootbaar at the top does look like a pretty good value play at 3,100 leading off. He's been awesome these last month or so. So yeah, that's the Cardinals side. And looking at this Cubs lineup that they're rolling out there, not that they really have an option to roll out a good lineup on any given day, but it looks really, really bad. High strikeout rates up and down the order. And I talked about how good Miles Mikolas has been at home this year. He's making a strong case for me to be my SP1. Good chance he's going to end up on my core play. So I feel good about Mikolas. Not going to play any Cubs bats against him.
JT, move on to the Cardinals and Cubs. You want anything in this game?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it now, it is good pitching weather, wind blowing in 6 miles an hour. It's not too hot there, mid-70s. The one thing that's a little different this year about Stroman is he has given up a lot more hard contact, and Nootbaar, Donovan, guys that I like in this order. I think you can play a lot of guys here. I wouldn't go to Tyler O'Neill. Nolan Gorman is 4-4. Edmonds at the bottom of the order now, and he's actually been raking quite a bit. I believe he had a home run last night. So remember, if they get to Stroman and get rid of him early, this Cubs bullpen is one of the worst in baseball. So overall game environment, this isn't my top stack, but I do want some shares of, in particular, like DC mentioned, the top of that lineup.
Okay, very good. Uncle T?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement. I'm off of this game. I didn't really have Mikolas coming on the show. I didn't list him in my playbook, but not because he wasn't a decent play. I just didn't want to list 7-8 guys in the playbook. At 8-8, I kind of agree with what DC said. I can maybe take some shots here at Mikolas against this Cubs lineup. And on the other side, I'm not going to go to St. Louis either here in this situation. I don't like stacking against Stroman either. But you do have some cheap pieces with Nootbaar 3-1, Donovan 2-7. You even have Corey Dickerson at 2-3. I'm not going to go there, but if you wanted maybe a lower owned, three-man stack, you can definitely work some pieces in there. Or actually, if you're going to do it, you might as well go ahead and just try to 5-man it and get Goldie and Arenado in there. But I'm not going to do anything here. I might add Mikolas, though, to my player pool.
Okay, very good. Like button 350. JT lays spread eagle on his queen size bed. We're still trying to figure out if it's a queen or a king size. And I'm sure this conversation.
It's a king size bed. Don't insult me. It's a king size.
I don't think it is. It doesn't look like it. And I'm sure we'll have this conversation again this week when we tape the
I do want to mention a rare opportunity to get overlay on FanDuel with the hour earlier start. It does lock in 7 minutes now, I believe. But some of these tournaments, including 11 minutes, I guess, but like their big $9 tournament, still 4,500 people short of filling up. The Monster has some overlay. So, if maybe people weren't aware, but it's not often you can snag some free money from the duel. So maybe take advantage of that today for people watching and building lineups.
Okay, very good. I like it. We still have, 2 more games to get to? Yes, we do. Colorado, Cincinnati. We can't even do that on DraftKings, right? So you want to talk FanDuel? Uncle T, let me ask you about this. Colorado, that first game. We're locking here right now, right? So it doesn't matter. That would just be FanDuel, right? We're not going to do it. Guys, do you have any thoughts on this as we're just about at
I'm using Lodolo on FanDuel, so there you go.
And JT?
Yeah, Lodolo would be the play for me as well.
What about Seattle, Cleveland? Uncle T, I'm going to start with you here. We'll give DC the last word on our games for the season here on the Sunday show. Last game on the slate. Talk to me here, pal.
Yeah, we got another weather game here as well that we'll have to keep an eye on and monitor. You got a 7.5 total. Kirby has been really good. Quantrill, again, I'm not sure if these guys mentioned it, but can't quite figure the 9.6 price tag out on him. He has pitched better of late. I'll give him that. 3 of his last 4 outings, he's been pretty good, but just can never imagine going there. But this is going to be a game where I'm gonna fade offensively. I mean, if you wanted to pick out a couple of these Seattle bats, I like the Seattle side a little bit more than the Cleveland side. You've got Jesse Winker at 3.8. You got Stevie's boy Ty France at 4K. Cal Raleigh is out of the lineup today, so you can't play him. And then obviously Julio at the top. I think I listed him as my top outfielder in the playbook today. So you can always maybe mini stack Seattle, but nothing for me for Cleveland.
JT, Seattle, Cleveland, anything here?
Yeah, nothing really from this game for me. Just looks like a kind of crappy offensive environment. Pitchers are way too expensive for expected output. Agree with Uncle T that you can certainly use some Seattle one-offs. There's some power here against Quantrill that could do the trick.
Hey, DC, last one. Take this game, run with it.
Yeah, I guess a little more interest in the Seattle bats. I'm not going to the Cleveland bats against Kirby, who just doesn't get blown up enough, not enough power from Cleveland. But Quantrill does have some reverse splits where he gets hit pretty hard by right-handed bats in general. You look at that 1 through 5 for Seattle, 4 pretty good right-handed hitters in there, and Julio, France, Haniger, Suarez, and then you got Winker in there, who's a decent bat as well. Seattle, another team coming on pretty strong in the second half of this year, so they're going to be most likely focused and hoping to do some damage. And then Cleveland's bullpen they have a good bullpen, but it is gassed right now, and you're not going to see the good bats or the good pitchers rather come out of the bullpen if they are able to get to Quantrill early. So I think potential here for Seattle to do some damage in the later innings if they can get to Quantrill early, which I think they got a decent chance to do. If you're going to Seattle, though, I would stick to the top half of that lineup. Drops off in a hurry after Suarez hitting 5th.
Okay, that'll do it. We'll give our plays of the day, and then we're getting the hell out of here. JT was smart. He knew you were getting to 350 likes, but thank you for hitting the like button all season long. We appreciate that. And before we go, I'll remind you one more time. NFL 15% off. Life of your subscription. You don't just get the NFL and baseball. You get all our sports. The tennis crew is killing it right now. You get the video games. NBA is right around the corner. We give you NHL and, of course, college football. We've got shows for college football. We got course for college football. NFL, we're going to smash it. You're getting all of Big T's player pool. You're getting Showdown content. You're getting the best in the industry, giving you their cores. How many places do that? Just give you their whole core. You got to fill in the last 2-3 pieces. You're not getting it anywhere else. Let's do our plays of the day. DC, I want to hear it. It is the Mom's Basement play of the day.
Yeah, I'm going to the Orioles, who are my favorite stack today, to their rookie phenom Gunnar Henderson, hitting 5th, 3K on DraftKings. I think he's like 2.6 or something like that on FanDuel. Been raking in the minor leagues. Power, speed, great place to hit, especially for a lefty in Baltimore with that short porch in right field. Good matchup against Martinez, who gives up home runs. So yeah, Gunnar Henderson, Mom's Basement play of the day.
Woo, little Gunnar. Yes, JT Sweet Peach. What is our play of the day today?
Yeah, I'm going to be aligned with DC on positional batting order here. I'm going to go to someone who's hitting in the 5 hole, and it's against Josh Winkowski. Jonah Heim, 3.5K on DraftKings. He is a switch hitter, so when you get rid of Winkowski and that bad bullpen comes in, he can do it from either side of the plate. Jonah Heim, Eiffel Tower play of the day.
Oh, I don't know if we got the mustache ride play of the day. I don't even know what you're calling. Well, I got to remember this. What is your play of the day here?
I think that's what it was from last year when I was on a few of the shows. I think is what it was. I don't know if they still have the graphic, but it was a funny one for sure. But
it was the best.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be going to the same park as DC. We're going to Camden Yards. I'm gonna go one batting order position above Henderson, who I do like today as well. I also mentioned him in the playbook. I'm going with Ryan Mountcastle. Hit 2 bombs yesterday, 3 in the last 2 days. I like him in that Baltimore stack today. So Ryan Mountcastle is my play of the day.
Fine. I'll just throw Ramon Arias in there then. Let's just go with a full stack on the Orioles today, boys. Yeah.
I love it. And on the Orioles.
Yeah, let's just go Orioles. We'll complete the sweep there. And that'll be that. And the show is complete for the season. I want to thank every single one of you for watching. We're not done yet. Subscribers, we still got our show coming up here. Do we have any free shows? I think we'll be doing some free shows. We're doing a lot of stuff behind the paywall. And I'll remind you one more time. Make sure you get in now. 15% off the lifetime of your subscription, NFL 15. For JT and Uncle T, and of course, DC. We'll catch you in football season. Thanks, everybody. Baseball will be back tomorrow as well. Keep running pure. And Simon, get us out of here.